Welcome to That's What I Call Marketing, the podcast where you'll hear from the leading lights in the marketing world and listen to their unique insights. Well, it's that time again to have a look at top of the marketing charts, and we are looking back over August to see what made the headlines in marketing news and views this month. Of course, please do leave your comments, thoughts and views, things that we've missed out on. You may disagree with some of the things being said here today, so definitely share your views with me. If you are enjoying episodes of That's What I Call Marketing, a really big thing to help us grow this amazing community of marketers just like you is if you can take a few seconds to like the episode that you're listening to, rate, review, or share it. Any one of those things really does help us grow our community. So let's get right into it, and it's going to be a very mindful, very demure newsletter this month. Well, first of all, for me, Sportsbet, Australia's Olympic gambit. Well, Sportsbet made waves with its hilarious Elite Average Games campaign that they brought back out again this year ahead of the 2024 Paris Games. The campaign taps into Australia's deep-seated love for sports, delivering a series of ads that blend humour with patriotism. This is a great example of a brand that really understands the local sense of humour. I remember collecting a series of Aussie moments to send to my colleagues in the US previously so they could understand the local sense of humour. And yes, the honey badger was in the mix. So the team behind the campaign has definitely crafted content that uses jokes and humour that rely on Aussies, and Aussies really fully appreciating. The executive creative director at Sportsbet has been quoted as saying, "Feedback on our previous Elite Average Game campaign has been so positive, we felt we had to go around one more time in 2024. Everything from knocking footies out of trees, throwing a million decorative pillows off the bed, to everyone's favourite Len Loosefoot and his brilliant dad dancing skills are on display this time around. It's all good fun, designed to entertain, capped off with more Aussie gold." And probably a very unexpected twist, one of the pieces, as I've mentioned, was Len Loosefoot, the dad dancing. When you look at it now, it definitely makes you think of the Aussie breakdancer Ray Gunn, and that was definitely an unexpected twist for Sportsbet, and I'm sure they were thrilled about it. And speaking of Ray Gunn, I would love to know what brands are going to start working with her. She is super smart and seems to have a really great personality. I hope she gets some positive brand activations out of her fame. So up next, we have X's legal threat. Well, you won't have missed Linda Lacarino, the CEO of X, formerly Twitter, and I still call it Twitter. Her video where she's taken a pretty aggressive stance in her latest move to allegedly reclaim lost advertising revenue. She announced that X was allegedly suing several advertisers who was allegedly boycotted the platform, accusing them of allegedly breaching contracts and contributing to allegedly financial difficulties the company has faced since its rebranding. Yes, I'm using that word a lot, and I'm very purposefully doing it. The lawsuits target companies that pulled their ads allegedly amidst concerns over content moderation allegedly and the platform's new direction under Elon Musk's ownership. Now, the decision to go public with the legal threats has ignited a bit of a firestorm of debate in the advertising world. Some industry experts argue that this move could backfire, driving away potential advertisers who fear being entangled in legal disputes. However, this lawsuit is being framed as a necessary measure to protect X's business interests and assert the platform's value to advertisers. The CEO is also using the opportunity to reaffirm X's commitment to providing a safe and effective advertising environment despite the challenges posed by the platform's transformation. So as X navigates these turbulent waters, the outcome of the lawsuits will likely set a precedent for how the company handles advertiser relations moving forwards. An immediate casualty, of course, has been the Global Alliance for Responsible Media, which announced it was to dissolve after it was accused of orchestrating a boycott allegedly. What is your view on this approach by X? Teamwork.com, the client part 2. Well, the team at teamwork.com has struck gold again with a follow-up to its highly successful campaign, The Client. The sequel, called The Client Part 2, delves deeper into the chaotic and often comedic world of client-agency relationships. The campaign captures the absurdity of the interactions from last-minute requests to unrealistic expectations, all while highlighting the solutions that Teamwork's project management software provides. What makes this campaign stand out is its use of humorous storytelling to connect with the B2B audience. We don't see enough of this. Each scenario depicted in the ad is exaggerated and painfully familiar to anyone who's worked in an advertising setting. By turning the challenges into a humorous narrative, Teamwork not only entertains, but also educates potential customers on the value of their software. Entertain and educate all at the same time. Yes, it can be done. By continuing to shine a light on the often overlooked struggles of agency life, Teamwork.com is positioning itself as the go-to solution for managing complex client relationships. Laura D'Angelo sent this work to me, and in a message back to her, I actually replied by saying, "What is terrifying is I actually know of a situation like this where a junior brand manager was actually told how to write emails to the agency I was in. This actually happened. People, be less of a client." Who gives a crap about sports sponsorship? Well, Lewis FC certainly do. Who gives a crap? The eco-friendly toilet paper, known for its cheeky marketing, is venturing into the world of sports sponsorship in a way that only they could. The brand has chosen to dip into the sponsorship world with Lewis Football Club, the self-dubbed Equality FC, for a 2-year sponsorship deal. As part of the club's Impact on the World strategy, the club is committed to raising money for Who Gives a Crap's charitable foundation that supports equal access to clean water and toilets. Emily Craftman, UK MD of Who Gives a Crap, said, "This is not your normal sponsorship. It's about driving donations, not fame. As big fans of Lewis FC and what they stand for, we couldn't turn down the opportunity to help drive change across football and society through our partnership." Now, this definitely seems to be a great partnership between two, and I use this word with extreme caution, but two purpose-led brands. But look, they are. And I know Emily says it is not about driving fame, but there has to be some commercial outcome for it. So I expect Who Gives a Crap need and will activate the, excuse the pun, shit out of this one. A new CEO flies into Starbucks. Well, Starbucks has made the headlines with the abrupt ousting of its CEO, a move that had industry insiders speculating about the future of the coffee giant. However, it quickly announced that Brian Niccol was becoming the new CEO. Now, Niccol currently serves as chairman and CEO of Chipotle. Since becoming CEO in 2018, he has transformed Chipotle. His focus on people, culture, brand, menu innovation, operational excellence, and digital transformation, I guess everything really, have set the new standards in the industry and driven significant growth and value creation. Revenue has nearly doubled, profits have increased nearly 7-fold, and the stock price has increased by nearly 800% during his leadership, all while increasing wages for retail team members, expanding benefits, and strengthening the culture. So it is expected that this will be what he does at Starbucks. Of course, the big news was that Niccol had planned to commute to work in a hybrid setup. Now, lots of us commute. The difference here is that he will commute by private jet. Now, this was leaving a bit of a sour taste in the mouth of consumers and analysts, and the idea that he can use the private jet to nip 1,000 miles between California and Seattle was definitely a storm in a coffee cup. Yes, sorry about that. But if Niccol is able to transform Starbucks' fortunes and reverse their decline and increase their stock price by 800%, I think a lot of people are going to ignore his commuting. Uber's ad revenue surge. Uber is making significant strides in diversifying its revenue streams with its latest financial report highlighting a notable increase in ad revenue. The company has shifted focus towards in-app advertising, leveraging its vast user base to offer targeted ads that appear during rides and in other app interactions. The move is part of a broader strategy to reduce reliance on ride-hailing fares. I mean, that's the core of their business, and explore new avenues for growth. I guess, though, the ride-hailing fares have to happen for this advertising model to work. But look, they have announced in their investor report that their revenue run rate from advertising exceeded $1 billion. Expanded journey ads to programmatic buyers, enabling advertisers across our top markets to more easily buy journey ads through their preferred demand-side platforms, increasing their addressable market. The success of their advertising strategy can be attributed to their ability to offer highly personalized ads based on user data, making them more relevant and less intrusive. Uber's also been experimenting with new ad formats, interactive video ads, and these are proving to be more engaging for users. By integrating these ads seamlessly into the app experience, they're providing brands with a unique platform to reach a captive audience. And as Uber continues to refine its ad offering, this revenue stream is expected to become increasingly important part of the business financial portfolio. Really interesting stuff out of Uber. Mars's sweet snacking. Well, Mars made the bold move to expand its footprint in the snacking industry with the acquisition of Kellogg's snack division, Kellanova, in a deal worth, yes, billions. Now, before we get into that, let's just remind ourselves of the online uproar when Kellanova brand was introduced. People thinking Kellogg's had lost its mind, but clearly they knew the bigger picture plan. The acquisition is a strategic play for Mars as it seeks to diversify its portfolio beyond its well-known confectionery brands and into the growing market for healthier snack options. With Kellanova's products under its wing, Mars is poised to become an even bigger player in the global snacking industry, offering a range of products that cater to both indulgent and health-conscious consumers. The deal is particularly significant as it allows Mars to tap into Kellanova's established distribution networks and customer base, especially in emerging markets where the demand for snacks is on the rise. Mars plans to leverage its own expertise in brand building and innovation to create new products that blend the indulgence of its candy brands with the health appeal of Kellanova's offerings. It's going to be interesting, fascinating, I would say, to see as the brands come together how this is going to impact or play out in terms of marketing. Where are they going to look for efficiencies of scale? Premier Beership. Well, Guinness has once again proven its prowess in sports sponsorship. Recently, obviously, it announced it was going to be a Premier League sponsor and it launched its activation campaign as the season started. I would love to see the media budgets because they are definitely making sure we know about it. The campaign will feature 4 new adverts, global out-of-home advertising, lovely game for a Guinness, creative in pubs and retail outlets, sponsorship of the Premier League's Goal of the Month award, and a fleet of 20 tankers, bringing, as they say, the beautiful beer to the beautiful game. As I mentioned, there are 4 films for TV and social media. They are unsurprisingly about shared passion and love for football. The first one is about Eriskay in the Outer Hebrides, where 10% of the population play for the only football team on the island. And the idea is to celebrate how the passion for the game and the Guinness brand reaches and brings together the most remote communities. It is wonderfully shot and it does feel very Guinness in tone. The community, the shared love of sport and beer and 002 are all there. Is it all a bit obvious? I think so, but it works. And I'm sure Diageo tested the hell out of it. And oh, did I mention the spend? Well, I don't know what it is, but they are spending heavily behind it. This is a clever global play by Guinness. The Premier League is one of the biggest global football leagues, and football is loved in so many countries. Clearly, lots of evidence has led Guinness to know that the next wave of Guinness drinkers, their wide reach, are going to come from the football terraces. Stephen O'Kelly, the global brand director of Guinness, said so himself. The Premier League isn't just football, it's a global occasion. For Guinness, it's an amazing opportunity to continue the success of the Guinness brand globally. Now, meanwhile, Guinness 0.0 has become the biggest non-alc beer in the UK. We have Guinness and Guinness 0.0 as the 2 largest beers in the UK. Impressive stuff by the Guinness team, particularly in the UK. Damon instigating donuts. Think Boston and you think Chowder, Fenway Park, Affleck and Damon, Dunkin Donuts, and also my friend, author and future guest David Woolman. And now the Instigators. Well, maybe not. But here's a piece, well, and I'm not really sure who it is from, but it features the Instigators, Matt Damon, Casey Affleck, and Dunkin Donuts. And it is really enjoyable. It is definitely an interesting way to cross-promote things that are very Boston. I am really sorry about the accent. And to me, this seems like it is a case of using star power to lift all boats. What is interesting, and I talk to people about this when it relates to global marketing, is how very local this piece is. The fascinating thing is this resonates across the world. And again, it's down to fame. Yes, that word again. And fame as a strategy, it works. Snoop's next episode with Solo Stove. So, you remember Snoop, Solo Stove, and the Super Bowl? The spot that bombed and the CEO allegedly got the boot as a result? Well, something must have worked because Snoop is back for the next episode and they are really leaning into the mistakes from the first outing and getting really blunt about it all. Luana Bumacher, the chief marketing officer of Solo Brands, has said that this is a deliberate nod to how brands engage influencers to promote their products. This isn't just marketing, it's blunt, direct, unapologetic, and entertaining. And honestly, Luana, it sure is. And yes, it is very well branded too. They weren't making any mistakes this time. Mac AI. Well, McDonald's Japan created an AI-generated ad campaign crafted entirely by artificial intelligence. Collaborating with the creative minds at Luma Labs AI and the popular digital influencer Kaku Drop, McDonald's Japan is embracing the future of advertising from the visuals to the scripts. Kaku Drop is a virtual personality who's gained a massive following on social media, especially among the audience. So we've got a mix of humor, relatability, definitely eye-catching digital art. Kaku Drop was the perfect choice apparently to help McDonald's Japan's new AI-driven campaign. In the ad, Kaku Drop takes viewers on a fun and visually stunning journey through a world of vibrant, realistic-looking AI-generated Japanese girls eating McDonald's French fries. Now, reportedly, Tom Goodwin has said of this, and I think it's about this particular work, but maybe it's just in general, that a lot of AI work makes me realize quite how brilliant most non-AI work is. We have a taste, a logic, a craft, a respect, a softness, an empathy that makes human work so very good. Now, I think we run the risk of applying our lens and worldview on this piece of creative and maybe potentially not understanding the market that it is operating in. And look, I'm not disagreeing with Tom. I certainly agree that human work has all of those things: empathy, taste, logic, craft, respect, all of it. But I do think we need to understand the market. And I've been lucky, I've managed to work in, on, and for some creative in Japan. And the market is wildly different in terms of creative. It is truly fascinating. So I think to say this is wrong, and I'm not saying again that Tom has, but that narrative might come out there that we say this is wrong, is in itself just wrong. Think about the context, think about the market, also think about where this is living, and, not saying it is either or. I just don't think we can be that definitive in marketing. Bartlett's influencer blunder. Well, Stephen Bartlett is a huge success. He's known as a marketing expert, an influential figure in society and culture. He's just massive. The thing is, when you reach those heights, people are just waiting to knock you down. And Bartlett has been, it seems to me anyway, a bit vilified. There was a headline in The Independent in the UK, and it was "Downfall of a CEO. The real reason why Stephen Bartlett became the man we love to hate." Wow. The backlash seemed to reach boiling point when Bartlett's nutrition adverts for Zoe and Huel were banned by the ASA for being misleading. The ads, they were Facebook-sponsored posts shared in February and March, see Bartlett praise the products. The Advertising Standards Authority claimed that the ads were misleading as they did not make it clear that Bartlett had a financial interest in both brands. And look, that is their job to do. Their job is to find these errors, find these mistakes, call them out and rectify them. Now, I'd be more worried about misleading nutritional claims. I'm not saying there were any in these ads, but then I might kind of get the backlash. I think it is definitely good the ASA, as I said, is picking up on these, and particularly around sponsorship, around influencer posts. It seems to be more of a grey area. So this is good work by the ASA. Now, I don't think Stephen Bartlett cares a jot about what I think, but this whole thing to me seems like a massive overreaction. Of course, if you are listening, Stephen, I did send you that email about coming on That's What I Call Marketing. I do refresh my inbox hourly looking for the response. So I'm here if ever you want to talk. Ronaldo's YouTube takeover. Well, look, I was chuffed when we hit over 1,000 subscribers on That's What I Call Marketing's YouTube channel. I overtook my 11-year-old's CapCut football video page. It was a massive celebration all round. Then Cristiano Ronaldo goes and ruins it all by gaining over 19 million followers in one day. One day. Yes, it was a record. He is now up over 50 million. Now, these numbers are huge, but remember, Mr. Beast has over 300 million subscribers on YouTube. What obviously is interesting about all of this is the reason behind it. Eventually, Ronaldo's career is going to come an end. The GOAT. And he is clearly starting to position his brand differently. He's been able to leverage his fame on the pitch, but he's thinking about what next and how he keeps in the spotlight. This isn't for money for Ronaldo, clearly, but he wants to keep brand Ronaldo relevant. He's also trying to soften his image. Definitely when you look at some of the content, that is what he's trying to do. We've got content like Georgina rates my outfits from the last 20 years, and that's got 17 million views. Interestingly, his content is in Portuguese and is dubbed. I say interesting, but why shouldn't it be? It's definitely an interesting play from Team Ronaldo. He isn't disliked, but probably isn't universally loved. So it'd be really fascinating to see what content they come out with to build up his likability. I, for one, want him to do a version of Demure. Fresh in 13 markets. HelloFresh is launching an ambitious global campaign that reflects the brand's response to the evolving demands of consumers worldwide. As the meal kit becomes an increasingly popular solution for busy households, HelloFresh is positioning itself as the leading provider by emphasizing the convenience, variety, and quality of its offering. Now, the campaign is tailored to resonate across 13 markets. I have tried to get campaigns to resonate across lots of markets. It is really hard to do. Patrick Stahl, the SVP of International Marketing at HelloFresh Group, speaking to The Drum, revealed that the in-house creative team merged this bold new creative direction with innovative AI practices to fuel a truly integrated global campaign. Now, he didn't expand on what those practices were. I would love to hear more about them. This is a fast-paced 30-second ad, brings you into lots of different types of homes and families, and showcases with on-screen graphics of food. The campaign also marks HelloFresh's first foray into Sonic branding, which is definitely a good move for international brands. Did somebody say Just Eat? What do you think of this campaign? Does it hit the mark? Will it travel? Or is it just too generic to connect? I'd love to get your thoughts. I am looking back in anger. I didn't manage to get myself tickets to see Oasis play next summer. Now, I am not going to offer up lessons in marketing from the Oasis reunion. Trust me, LinkedIn will be full of them for the next year. But the reforming of the band is a great reminder of one of the best stunts that the band pulled off. A month after a gig had to be cancelled due to technical difficulty. Now, in hindsight, let's go with a massive fight. Noel Gallagher promised a refund to Oasis fans. Now, Gallagher did try backtrack, but eventually sent out the refund. And this is where the genius comes in. So they sent out tens of thousands of checks for about £45 each. And an accompanying letter read, "Thank you for your application to receive a payment as a goodwill gesture for the problems experienced at the Heaton Park show. Please find attached to the check in respect of this offer. No further correspondence will be entered into." The total value of all the checks was £1 million. And here we go. Ready for the genius bit? The check, legal tender, was emblazoned with an unlikely logo. Oasis, Bank of Burnage, it read, and it bears Liam and Noel Gallagher's signatures. Now, if you got one of those, what would you have done? Yes, that's what most people did. Kept them and did not cash them. What a move by Oasis. Obviously, more lessons to come from Oasis over the next 12 months. Social curry. Well, there is an Instagram of a dad embarrassing his daughter using Gen Z phrases like skibbity, riz, and the likes. Now, Currys, the UK-based electronics store, have come out with a great social piece that pretty much pulls in every single saying and ties it into a store product. Brands often struggle with jumping in on culture and trends, and they often get it wrong. This is a great example of doing it well. It is so bad, it is so good. Staying alive. Well, one of the greatest ads made was Vinnie Jones' ad for the British Heart Foundation, showing people how to do CPR back in 2012. At the time, Vinnie Jones was in the height of his post-football fame, still a hard man, but a movie hard man. So the creative team leaned into that quickly in the piece. We need a volunteer that isn't breathing, Vinnie says. And they created an incredible piece of advertising that really captures the attention. It got across a message using entertainment as a vehicle and was a great piece of fame work. Yes, there we go again. 12 years later, it is still referenced. I know John Evans is a big fan and has talked about it being brought back. But aside from everything, this piece of work delivered results, tangible results. It saved lives. It is being revived as part of the Every Minute Matters campaign, which seeks to educate people on potentially life-saving CPR training. Skybet and the British Heart Foundation have set a target of 270,000 people to start learning CPR by the end of the 2024-25 campaign. Great work works, and I believe Vicky McGuire wrote the copy for this. Must be a great feeling, Vicky, that this work still lives on and has saved so many lives for everyone involved. So bravo. The DNA of distinctiveness. Well, I have referenced the work of Distinctive Bat here before. I've had Cathal Gillen on the show, and John and Pete talked about Cathal in our recent episode on the great work that he has done. They've really carved out a strong niche as a leader in this space, being very distinct. I would suggest they also have a differentiated offering. They all just released research. Yes, it is for lead gen. You have to give your email address, but it is worth it. They go through the nuts and bolts of distinctiveness. If you are starting out on this journey or want to bring people on it with you, download the report. Go Google Distinctive BAT and you will find it there. Now, time to look at some of the recent episodes we've had on That's What I Call Marketing in August. We started August by hitting our 100th episode. Really incredible to hit that landmark. Thank you so much to everybody who supports and continues to support the podcast. Really, really appreciate it. And again, if you've liked any of the episodes and you can share them, we are truly grateful. So our Cannes sessions were run through the month of August again, and the first episode was with Mauro Porcini, who's Senior Vice President and Chief Design Officer for PepsiCo. Phenomenal episode. Then I met with Jerry D'Angelo, Mark Noble and Peter Dobbin, and I got to speak with Jerry, obviously, about the media landscape, and Mark and Peter, we talked about the award-winning Heineken Pub Museum campaign. Next up was John and Peter from Evidenza. And, really importantly, first of all, we started by clarifying one of the hot topics and biggest issues in marketing. And John and Pete confirmed that That's What I Call Marketing is their favorite podcast. Great conversation with the guys talking about what they did at B2B Institute at LinkedIn and what they're up to now at Evidenza. And I genuinely believe the impact they're going to make is huge. And they're lovely guys as well. Then we caught up with James Herman of Previously Unavailable and previous guest of this podcast. He's also co-founder of Tracksuit, talking about so many different things, the opportunities and growth for small brands, the work of Tracksuit, their research with the likes of TikTok, what James is doing with WARC, so much great stuff in this episode. And he talks about his not disagreement, but how he disagrees with Scott Galloway. So definitely worth checking that one out. And then I catch up with Jimmy Knowles, such a lovely guy. Jimmy's on the experience team at Canva, a brand I am a huge, huge fan of. And we talk about lots of things. Their overnight success, it's only been 10 years. We talk about their approach to international marketing. And also we talk about that infamous, famous rap battle. I love what they did there. And I don't think product launches can ever be the same. I'm also delighted to let you know that we have a new partner here. That's What I Call Marketing, running in September. We'll be partnering with CPL Marketing Recruitment as a sponsor on That's What I Call Marketing. So more to come on that. Also, I am working on a CEO series. So if you have a CEO who loves or loads marketing, I would love to talk to them for this series. So do get in touch with me. Well, that is it for this month's Top of the Marketing Charts. Thank you so much for tuning in. Of course, if you enjoyed this episode or any episodes of That's What I Call Marketing, and you can share, review, like, rate, subscribe, any or all of those things, we're really incredibly grateful. Of course, if you agree, disagree, or think I've missed something big, please let me know. Leave a comment. Until the next time, we of course have a new episode coming out on Tuesday, a new episode every single Tuesday. So stay tuned for an incredible episode coming on Tuesday with Peter Hammer, the marketing scientist. So from me, your host, Conor Byrne, take care.
If you would like to reach an engaged community of marketing leaders, get in touch with That's What I Call Marketing to discuss sponsorship opportunities.